Good evening, fellow vapors. This is Cass, and today I'm back at you with another Mech review. Yeah, today we're going to be looking at some hardware, not some juice, some hardware. We're going to be looking at a Mech mod in particular. Now, this is a company that I've reviewed a lot of juices for. We're going to be looking at the Vulkan Bros. Vulkan 1 Mech mod. It is a thing of glory. You will have seen me use it in a few previous videos as the tester mod, but today I'm going to be giving it a full review. We're going to be looking down at it sort of up and close and getting to know it a little bit better, seeing the ins and outs of it, how the buttons work, everything like that. I think what we should do is have a little vape of it, have a look down and close at it, then we'll come right back up. Let's have a quick look at this thing. It is absolutely gorgeous. Logo on the front. This is the stainless steel version. They also do this in naval brass, and you can get a limited edition one, which is actually a full set with the Alpha RDA, which if you want to see the review on this, I will drop a link in the description below. Let's have a quick vape on it, and then we'll go down to the up and close, and you can see it more intimately, shall we say. And we'll come back up, we'll talk about the price point, we'll talk about Vulkan Bros a little bit more, and we'll see where it goes from there. So, this is the Vulkan 1 by the Vulkan Bros. Okay, here we have the Vulkan in the packaging it comes in. It comes in this rather stylish tube. It's like a metal and cardboard tube. Let's open her up, and inside we have the mod. It's very shiny. It is very, very shiny. Now this is the stainless steel version, obviously, and they also do a naval brass version. Naval brass version is hand finished here in the UK. Stu from Vulkan actually polishes them all himself, as far as I'm aware. This one is super shiny. It's a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, but actually just a quick wipe and it's gone. There's no messing around. And because it's stainless steel, I found that I haven't had, this doesn't tarnish, it doesn't degrade in the air. I haven't found that there's any issue with it needing to be polished all the time, other than just giving it sort of a quick wipe down. So the mod itself is 26 mil wide, and then it tapers down to 25 mil when you put the RDA on top, which I will do in a moment. And it's very simple. I mean, that is literally all there is to it. You've got your logo there. You've got 4 vent holes at the positive, which is a fantastic idea, so that if you do end up with your battery venting, it's going to vent straight out the positive and stop any kind of craziness going on. And you've got the Vulkan logo here at the bottom. If we unscrew to get to where the battery goes, you'll see that you've got this telescopic threading here. Now, I will be honest, there is one part that is missing from this, and that is the 18650 adapter. Now, that is purely because through my own clumsiness, I seem to have misplaced it, and I cannot for the life of me find where it's gone. That will slot in there in the base. Your 18650 will fit in. But what I've been using, as is sort of recommended by the guys at Vulkan, is actually a Samsung 40T 21700. So this is the Samsung 40T. It is a big old battery, but the way we put the battery in is we slot it in the base. And if I get my Vulkan, because anyone who owns a hybrid mech should know that your RDA always goes on first, I'll screw my Vulkan Alpha on. Now, as you notice, this doesn't look like your standard Vulkan Alpha. This is actually the prototype airflow cap, but I will be doing an update review on this cap very soon. This is the Ultim version. And what will happen is, once this is in, you just slot it in, screw it down until it stops. Now, if you have an 18650, this will screw down all the way. There won't be this sort of gap hit, but actually, I really don't mind the gap. I think it adds like a really sort of slick aesthetic to it, and I think that's really good. To get the button out, because obviously at the moment the button is locked, you then twist anti-clockwise the button about that far, and as we see, we can then fire it. It is insane how fast it hits. But what we're going to do is, let me take the button apart, because this is another interesting thing about this mod that I absolutely love, is that if you ever had a mech mod and you found that you don't like how the button throw is, it's a brilliant mod, but the one thing that ruins it for you is the button throw. Well, they've come up with a solution to this. Now, as the mod stands, when you get it, it will come with one magnet in the top. So what we can do is we can unthread the button all the way. In here, you've got one magnet. And in the bottom, oh, there's the pin, I'll talk about that in a moment. You get one magnet in the top and one magnet in the bottom. Now that makes for quite a loose throw. It's quite light, it's quite springy. If you want to make that heavier, they include 2 more magnets. Now, the extra magnet, they always say put the first one in the bottom, the button. That'll make it heavier. If you want it really heavy, put the second one up in the top here. As you can see, my magnets are trying to attract to each other, but we'll keep them separate for now. The other thing I'd like to have a look at, you got this button. Now, there's a very interesting thing about this button. It's got this giant gully right down the middle. And I'll have it on good authority that the reason this is there is that if you are someone that hits your button on the wonk, or if you're one of these people that doesn't necessarily give it a full hard contact, this button actually means that no matter where you go, you still get a solid contact on the battery, and what will happen is you won't get any arcing. The mark that you see on there now is actually just a bit of oxidization off the battery. It comes off the inside of the battery case, so there's a little bit of black on there, but you don't get any, I've not had any arcing at all whatsoever with this. It is beautifully machined, and it is brass. All right, let's try and put it back together without smashing my magnets apart. What I'm gonna try and do is put these back together. Now, make sure that they are repelling before you screw it back. If they're not, they will slam together and generally crack. Now, obviously, if you're only using 2 and you crack your magnets, you're gonna end up with 2 spares. But if you are using all of them, you're gonna have no spares. But that screws all the way down. It really is as simple as that. Nice and easy. Now, obviously, you screw it out, that will then press in. If you screw it all the way, that's obviously how you get into it. So what we're gonna do, put the battery back in, and that is a really, really nice fit. I'll be honest with you, the 18650s aren't really worth using in this, simply because when you can put a bigger battery in, there's no point in not having as much power as you possibly can have. And then this just slots in perfectly well, screws down, and there you go. That is the Vulkan Mech mod. And she's a gorgeously simple piece of engineering. Well built, the threads are buttery smooth across the board. There's no rattle there really, nothing to be of note. And when this is screwed down, obviously you don't want to ramp it down too hard or you'll dent your battery, but when that's screwed down, it's just gorgeous. Sits nicely in the hand. But unscrew the back. The thing is, you can actually adjust it. So if you like a slightly shorter throw, you can go for that. If you want it slightly longer, you can have it right out like that. It's completely up to you. See, that's too short for it to work there. There we go, like that. But look at it, isn't she gorgeous? Right, I reckon we go back up top, have a vape of it. We talk a bit more about the pros and cons, and we will talk about the prices and all sorts of things like that. So yeah, that is the Vulkan 1 Mech mod. So you've just seen it all up and close and all the button housing and everything. I'm just want to talk about it a little bit more. This is the stainless steel version. Now, predominantly stainless steel mods have never hit very hard. Or at least I've found they've never hit very hard. I find they overheat. I find they're not quite as good as copper or brass mods necessarily. Not the case with this one. This one is absolutely spot on. For a stainless steel mod, this hits ridiculously hard. The vape off it is immediate. The vape off it is intense. And with the alpha paired on the top, I mean, obviously you can use any RDA you want on top of it, but I think with the alpha paired on top of it, you really get this intense flavor, this intense vapor. So it is, you know, it is a 510 hybrid. So you have got to know your battery safety. You've got to make sure your batteries are safe. And you've also got to know that your RDA goes on top before your battery goes in. I'd also never suggest leaving a battery in this. Whenever I take it out and about and I'm not using it, the battery comes out. Like if it's going in my bag, the battery comes out, goes in a case, and then it all gets screwed back together until I want to come and use it. If I'm then using it, I now walk around it in my hand. I absolutely love the locking mechanism on this. I think it's absolutely good. It also means that I can stand it on my desk properly and it's not going to auto fire. Although to be fair, with the magnets in there, I have stood it on my desk with the button unlocked and it still doesn't auto fire. I've had no arcing issues at all with it. That has been absolutely brilliant. And I like the fact that you've got the 90-degree anti-spin venting on it. It means that when if your battery were to vent, that it's not going to spin inside, the battery's not going to spin inside the tube and launch itself out either through the button and through your face or through the top cap, which is, you know, less likely. This is compatible with the 18650 if you're using the Delrin sleeve. Now, like a complete klutz, I've just completely misplaced the Delrin sleeve. It is essentially a black Delrin tube. I don't think you should really use this with an 18650. I don't think you're gonna get the full force of what this mod can achieve. It'll work with the 2700s. It will also work with the 21700s. Now, the battery that was suggested to me was either the Samsung 30T or the Samsung 40T. The only downside is they are quite expensive batteries. I've seen them online for anywhere between 10 and 15 quid each. I bought my pair from Torchy for 25 quid for the pair. That might have been just a trade price though, so don't quote me on that price. Well worth getting it. I've got the Vapcell re-wraps of the Samsung 40Ts and they're absolutely banging, especially with this AFC cap, which I will be doing a full update video on shortly, probably next week. Absolutely banging with this. It does look good. Even with the stainless steel cap, it looks absolutely ridiculous. And you can't see it from this because this doesn't have a logo on it, but the logos line up, which is super satisfying. I hate it when logos don't line up. It seems like such a simple thing to do, but these guys have done it and the logos line up. Wonderful. So, price points. So, you can pick up one of these, just the Mech, for 100 of your British pounds. If you buy it with a Alpha RDA, it is £90 for the Mech. It is then £20 for the deck, £20 for your first cap, and then if you wanted a second cap, obviously of your choice, then it is a further £10. So you end up paying 140 for the setup. Now, that is naval brass or the stainless steel, and they do make a blacked out version. I'm going to put links into the website in the description below. They make the blacked out version, which you can only buy as a set, which is $199.99, I believe, which is a fantastic price for what I consider to be a very, very well-performing mod. Vulkan Brothers aren't like a company as big as Able or Limitless or any of these huge Mech companies, but what they've produced here rivals, if not is better than any of those. And you're looking at a third of the price of some of like things like Purge or some of the things like some of the Able or Avid Life mods I've seen out there. I mean, to get a set for 140 quid or 199 if you're going for the blacked out version, which is a limited run, is absolutely mind-blowing. It's super cheap, like really cheap, and you're getting something that is so good. And I think I like the stainless steel version because I'm not losing anything on how hard it hits or conductivity or anything like that, because this does hit really well and I don't have to polish it. The worst thing about mods that are like brass or copper is that you have to polish them all the time. The most you have to do with this is give it a wipe down. Make sure it's clean. I use a bit of WD-40 in the threads just to wipe, get the dust out and the crud out, and then I wipe it down so it's nice and clean. The button is very, very low maintenance. It's like anywhere between 2 and 4 magnets depending on your preference, and I love the fact that they give you not only just spare magnets but the option to put more magnets in for a stiffer throw on the button. Wonderful. Like, these guys have created something special with this, and you will see it more and more often. I think it's going to be the Mech mod design of the future as well. There's nothing fancy about this. It just works. There's no hard edges. You've got the telescopic nature of that. That's all you need to do. You put a short battery and you just screw it in further. I've got the largest battery size that this is capable of holding in here, and it just works. So let's have another quick vape on it. We'll wrap this up a little bit. I think I've explained all I need to, but it just, for the money that you pay for this, you're getting something that is worth 3 or 4 times what these guys charge for it. And that alone is worth it. So when you contact the company, you're contacting directly the guys and gals that own the company. So the customer service really is good. I mean, if there's an issue with the mod, which I don't think there's ever been an issue with the mod, if you ever get an issue with the mod, you're talking to the guy that designed it. He'll always help you out as far as making sure he can resolve your issue, which is an important thing. A lot of companies are quite faceless and you can't ever get hold of them when you need to. So let's have one more vape on the Vulkan 1 from the Vulkan Brothers. Wonderful. Flavoursome, intense, thick clouds of this all day long. The battery life is insane. I've been using this all day. Just before this video, I put it in my battery charger to check the voltage. It has dropped 0.1 of a volt. It's gone from 4.2 to 4.1 volts, and that's in like 4 hours of use, right? If there is one con, and I don't know why it happens, it might be predominantly because this is made of stainless steel. If I show you here, this middle section right here can get quite hot. Now, I do clean the threads regularly to take that out of the equation. I think it's because you've got a thread, then a thread, then a thread, that you're getting a little bit of resistance build-up, which makes this middle section quite hot. But if you hold it carefully enough, you don't ever actually end up touching it. It's only if you palm the middle, like this. It's only if you palm the middle that you will feel that heat. Now, I'm sure one of the guys at Vulkan will tell me about that. And I think this is inherent to the stainless steel. I don't think this happens on the brass. It will do on the brass if you don't clean it. That'll be very important. But I try to keep these threads as clean as possible. But this little bit here gets a little bit warm sometimes. But the mod itself doesn't. I can chain this all day and it does not get warm, really at all. It's the battery that gets warm, because obviously it's a battery, it's getting used. But the Mech itself doesn't overheat, which is awesome. This thing is a chunk. It is a hefty piece of engineering. It is simple. It works. It does what it says on the tin, and I wish more. You know, I'm not all about having like knurled designs of pirates or crazy twists and turns and ergonomics in it. This just sits in the hand. It presses lightly. It hits stupidly hard. It is impossible to just get across to you how hard this thing hits until you use one with a Samsung 40T battery. That is the caveat with that. With an 18650, it hits well, but nothing on a 40T. Pretty good. I think that about wraps it up. This is an absolutely stonking Mech mod. For the money, I would suggest going out and getting one. The website is vulkanbros.co. They've got a gorgeous website. It's very easy to navigate. They do loads of merch. They do their RDAs separately to the Mech if you wanted to buy it to the Mech. Or they do that deal if you buy both together. They've got the blacked out. They do cotton, and they do a stonking range of juice. I will put the links to all of my reviews in the description. I'll put a link to their website in the description. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up for the Vulkan 1 by Vulkan Brothers. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment below, let me know of your experiences of this or any other Mech mods that you think I should check out. If you own one, please tell me what you think about it, whether you think the stainless is better than the brass or the other way around. It is absolutely wonderful talking to you people, and just hearing your experience of it. You know, it really helps enlighten me as to what you guys are vaping out there as well. So thank you again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. My name has been Cass, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.